Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Natalie and I'm so glad to have you here. Today I want to talk about a topic that is very dear to my heart and I feel it has the capacity to help a lot of people find light in the dark places, and that is how to stay positive in difficult situations. I created this video because I know that at different times in our lives we all go through one unpleasant experience or the other. And also, some of us right now are going through really tough times. And I feel that the tips I'm going to be sharing with you today, when you practice them, they could help you find some grace in the moment of darkness. Let's jump right into it. Let's start by defining what difficult times are. First off, I want to say difficult times could differ from person to person. What one person will call a difficult or unpleasant experience, another person may not call it exactly that. And also, it differs from different times and periods of our lives. It could be loss of job, it could be the loss of a loved one, it could be the loss of money or property. Difficult times could be illnesses, it could be breakup, divorces, anything that makes us feel unhappy, sad, distressed, frustrated, and puts us in a state of despondency. That is what I mean by difficult times. I have experienced some of these difficult times myself, many actually. And these tips that I'm going to be sharing with you have helped me through and through, time and again. And I've also looked at the lives of people who have experienced some very dark moments in their lives and how they scale through it, those who have shared their experiences. And I'm bringing all of these tips together, hoping it will help you do the same. The first thing I'm going to tell you when you're going through a difficult time is feel everything. This sounds easier said than done. Because what most of us do is that when we're going through a negative experience, all these hard feelings, all these big feelings come up. The feeling of grief, the feeling of loss, the feeling of sadness and depression, despondency and despair. All of this comes up, resentment, anger, bitterness. What most of us do is that we try to suppress it. We try to live in denial. Sometimes we even practice what I call toxic positivity. We act like all is fine and good just because we do not want to face those hard emotions. Facing those emotions is the key to healing. Instead of running away from all these feelings, I will say feel everything. Allow it pass through you. Feel the anger, feel the grief, feel the frustration, feel the betrayal, feel the hurt, feel all that pain. But don't stay there. Don't stay in that feeling, because if you do, it will drown you. So I've noticed what we usually do is that we either fight, we resist, we refuse to feel it, we freeze, we stay stuck, we just allow it to overcome us, or flight response. That means we completely stay in denial. We refuse to acknowledge the hurt that was done to us. We want to maintain this religious persona that we have. We want to be the good Christian, be the good religious person, and then even the hurt and the betrayal that we feel from maybe our parents, from those who have hurt us in the past, we do not want to acknowledge it, and so we turn away from it. But guess what? It's going to stay inside you and it's going to fester. So feel everything, but don't stay there. The second tip: binge on positive, uplifting messages. I cannot stress this enough. I know at this time it is very tempting to listen to all the sad and depressing messages, to look for reasons to justify your pain, to rant online, to go to posts where people are expressing how you're feeling and then talk more about it. But what you're doing when you do that is you're further entrenching the pain and you're only drawing more negative energy to you. So the best thing at that time to uplift your soul is to listen to positive messages. Go online, look for podcasts, look for YouTube videos like this one that will help you experience a change in your energy. To add to this, avoid news, avoid negative news especially. These days, you hardly hear positive news on the news channels. So I would suggest that you avoid news. You're going through a hard period of your life. This is not the time to focus on all the things that are wrong in the country or in your location or in your family. This is not that time, because what it will do, it will only pull you down a black rabbit hole, and once you're in there, the deeper you get, the harder it becomes to swim out of it. One thing I do whenever I'm going through a very difficult time, I just put my earphones on. I put on my sound systems around the house. Whether I'm listening to or not, my subconscious mind is hearing. So I put this on and just allow them play, allow positive messages play. And every single time I notice there is a shift in my energy. Avoid all those sad songs that you like to go to when you're feeling blue and when you're going through a hard time. I'm not saying you shouldn't justify your pain, but don't forget what we said in number one. Don't stay there. And one of the ways to move out of it, out of that energy, is by listening to positive and uplifting messages. This is one channel that will help you do exactly that. So if you have not liked, subscribed, or clicked the notification button, now is a good time. What are you waiting for? The third tip I have for you is treat yourself with unconditional self-compassion. I notice whenever I'm going through a difficult time, it's so easy to slip into judgment. Why did you do that? Why didn't you see the sign? Why did you allow XYZ happen? How could you make such a mistake? When you do that, you're only berating and beating yourself up and breaking your own spirit, harming your inner child. It's not going to get you anywhere. This is the time to start giving yourself the compassion that you need. Have you noticed that anytime you're feeling down and out, you're going through a hard or negative experience, you don't even have the zeal to work? And sometimes we get into this loop of condemnation. You're angry with yourself for not being at your peak performance when your soul is going through a very difficult time. And then it goes on and on and on because your performance is dropping. Then you'll be angry with yourself about the performance, and then you're angry with yourself that you're still in that place. It never gets better. Treating yourself with love and compassion simply means treating yourself how you would treat someone you love so much that is going through a difficult time. Have you also noticed that we give other people more grace than we give ourselves when we're going through difficult periods? Now is the time for you to give yourself the same grace that you have been giving to others, the same understanding. Learn to see yourself as you did the best with what you had at that time, and give yourself the grace, give yourself the compassion that you need so badly at that time that you are at your lowest point. There are days you'll be up, there are days you'll be down, there are days you'll be productive, there are days you will not be. Now is the time to give yourself that grace to go through whatever it is you're going through. Number 4, speak positively to yourself. This is so important. Now, it doesn't matter what the people around you say. What matters is what you're saying to yourself. The people around you could be saying negative things. If what you're saying to yourself is positive, it is enough. The people around you could be saying positive things. If what you're saying to yourself is negative, it's worse, it's more harmful, because what you're saying to yourself goes deeper inside you than what any other person could say to you. Tell yourself, I know I'm just going through a phase. I'm going to overcome. I am overcoming this challenge. I am coming out of this better and better. This is why I like affirmations. And this is why you should make affirmations part of your life. Because when you do, you just notice that suddenly you say these things without thinking too much. Tell yourself, everything is working out for my good. I am overcoming. And if you check through your life, you'll notice that you have gone through some very difficult times in the past and you overcame. So now is the time to remind yourself, as David reminded himself and boasted about it in the presence of Goliath. And he said, I killed the bear, I killed the lion. Who are you, you uncircumcised Philistine? That is what you need to say to those challenges. That is what you need to say to that problem. And remind yourself that you can overcome it. Speak kindly and positively to yourself all the time. Number 5, now that we have talked about your relationship with yourself, it's time to talk about your relationship with others. When you're going through a tough time, the last thing you need are people who berate you, judge you. I hear stories of men who lost their job, and the person who is supposed to be the most supportive person at that time in their life is the one calling them, you're good for nothing, you're just useless, you cannot take care of your family. That is not what you need at that time. I've heard of women who have had certain challenges, maybe in marriage and childbirth, and sometimes it's the person who should be supportive of them who mocks them, who makes them feel worthless. That is not what you need. Those friends you have around you that are constantly pointing out your fault, making you feel like you're lacking, making you feel like because you're going through a challenging moment, then you are not worthy, that you do not have any value or any worth. Those are the friends you need to run away from ASAP. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, who make you feel like all things are possible. People who act as catalysts in your life, who do not judge you by the temporary situation or circumstance that you're going through. Even if it's just one person or two people, surround yourself with those kind of people, because those ones will give you the strength and the grace that you need to overcome whatever challenge it is that you are experiencing. The 6th tip I'm sharing with you is focus on what you can control. Now you're going through whatever challenge it is you're going through. The question is, what next? Most times we tend to focus so much on the challenge that we are unable to see anything else. It's time to take an eagle eye perspective of that problem. And even though it's something that may really be devastating and you cannot see any blessing in it, that's fine. However, let's start. How can we begin to take little steps to control our lives, especially when our life feels out of control? Sometimes it may be something as easy as just making your bed every morning. Something you have control over, something you have, no matter how little that control is, just start there. I remember speaking to a client who was going through a financial challenge in her life. And I told her, okay, what do you want? She said her business wasn't working, her husband was having challenges in his job, there were problems all over the place. And I said, okay, fine. Where can we start, right? What can we start doing to help us, move from where we are to where we want to be? Because this is the problem, and we have acknowledged it, we've accepted it, we're feeling all the feelings. Now, what little goals can we take in order to get our goal, which is what? To be financially free. And she said, all right, maybe she could, get a job in the meantime. And I said, fine, let's do that. A few months later, she sent me a message. She said, things are looking better. I've gotten a job and things are beginning to respond. Whatever area of life it is, start asking yourself, what small steps can I take in this very moment in order to feel more in control of my life? Sometimes it may just be taking the step of getting up and cleaning your house. It may just be getting up and going to see a friend who you know that you can pour out your heart to and they will not judge you. It may just be signing up for therapy, exercising every morning. It could be anything. Allow your spirit guide you. Maybe you're not happy with your weight, you're having health challenges, whatever it is. Or I could start saving towards something. These little steps gives you a bit more control over your life, because it feels like your life is spiraling out of control. So when you start to take those little steps, it built up momentum, and it helps you to start gaining more clarity that will push you in line with what it is you truly want for yourself. The 7th but not the least tip is practice gratitude. This can be difficult when you're going through a difficult time. I feel that gratitude should be our default state. However, you may have to start with gratitude for things, for the fact that you have shelter, for the fact that you probably have 1 or 2 friends who support you, for the fact that you're committed to training yourself and becoming a better person. You can just be grateful for the sun, the moon, the stars. Be grateful that every day we have a new day and a chance to do something better. Even if what it is you want has not come, be grateful for the now. And the law of attraction says, whatever you focus on will expand. So if you focus on things to be grateful for, the universe will give you more things that you will be grateful for. Where your focus go, your energy will flow in that direction. So I want to ask you today, what have you been focusing on? Have you been focusing on things that expand your life, make you happy, that puts you in line with your goals and your dreams? Or have you been focusing on things that depress your soul, make you complain, make you frustrated, make you lose energy from your body, and make you unhappy with life? These 7 tips, when you start practicing them every day, I promise they have the capacity to change and transform your life in ways that you have never even thought possible. Did you enjoy this video? Did you learn something from it? If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, turn on the notification button, and share this video with a friend. You do not know who you are helping, whose life you may just be transforming with the tips that I have shared today. See you in another video.